Do you think you need a ton of money or born talent to learn how to be successful? If your answer is yes, then I'm sorry to say you're living in a fantasy. Trust me, the difference isn't about talent or opportunity. It's somewhere else entirely. Why do some people achieve massive success while others, who are just as talented, stay stuck in the same spot? Today's story is about a young guy named Jason, who proved how adopting a growth mindset and a few small changes can take an ordinary person to extraordinary success. Long time ago, in a quiet little town called Narsipur, lived a boy named Jason. Narsipur was a beautiful place, surrounded by green fields and winding narrow roads. Jason was incredibly smart, full of new ideas, and his dreams were sky high. He imagined himself unlocking his full potential as an important, respected, and successful person. He often pictured himself standing in front of a huge crowd giving a proud speech, or walking confidently into a big corporate office. But he had one major problem. He was struggling with overcoming laziness. Every morning, his mom would knock on his door and yell, "Jason, get up. The sun is up. The day won't wait for you." And Jason would just mumble, "Just 5 more minutes, Mom," and pull the blanket back over his head. Lying there, he would dream of wealth and fame, but in reality, he lacked the daily discipline to lift a finger. Despite his laziness, he really respected the people in his town. He watched the local shopkeepers working tirelessly from morning to night, serving customers with patience and care. He saw teachers giving everything for their students. He even watched a police officer doing his duty with pride and self-discipline in his uniform. Jason wanted to be like them, but he never took the consistent steps needed for that personal growth. One day he'd decide to study hard, and the next day he'd waste hours flying kites or playing cricket with friends. He had the dream, but he had no plan. At the edge of town lived an old man named Uncle Daniel. He was a retired Army officer. Uncle Daniel was known for his mental toughness and wisdom. Every day, before the first light of dawn, he would wake up to start his morning routine for success. Then he'd sweep his yard, water the plants, do push-ups, and read a few pages of a book. His life seemed very simple, but it had a clear purpose. One afternoon, as Jason was passing by Uncle Daniel's house, he saw him working calmly and perfectly. Out of curiosity, Jason asked, "Uncle, why do you follow the same routine every day? Don't you get bored? Don't you ever just want to sleep in a little longer?" Uncle Daniel smiled, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and said, "Jason, the power of habit is like planting seeds. What you plant today will grow in the future. You might not understand it now, but one day, your habits will either save you or destroy you. Success doesn't come from luck. It comes from those small habits we do consistently every single day." Jason didn't fully understand the words, but they stuck in his mind. That night, lying in bed, Jason thought about it. How many times he had left work halfway done, how many projects were unfinished, how many books he stopped reading halfway, and how many dreams he had forgotten along the way. He thought, what if the secret to success isn't about talent or opportunity? What if success means doing your work every day, even when it feels impossible? The next morning, Jason woke up before sunrise. His body was begging for more sleep, but he remembered Uncle Daniel's words. He washed his face, tied his shoelaces, and stepped outside. The cold morning breeze hit his face, and he started to run. At first, he was gasping for air after just 200 meters. His legs were burning, his heart was pounding, but he didn't stop. Day after day, he kept running. Slowly, he felt it. He was getting a little stronger. His speed was increasing, and he felt more alive. After running for a week, Jason decided to build another habit focusing on self-improvement by studying for 1 hour every day. He didn't tell anyone. He made no big announcement. He just started doing the work. Sitting in a quiet corner of his house, he started studying with focus, especially the subjects he used to ignore. Weeks turned into months. Jason faced many obstacles. Some days he was too tired to run. Some days his mind wandered while studying. Friends called him to play, tempting him to lose his consistency. But he kept remembering Uncle Daniel's words. The power of small daily habits is much greater than working hard just one day out of nowhere. Slowly, building self-discipline became his nature. Jason noticed his mind getting sharper, his body getting stronger, and his confidence growing. His friends noticed the change too. His close friend Sonu asked, "Jason, how did you change? You used to be the king of laziness." Jason smiled and said, "I didn't change overnight. I just repeated life-changing habits over and over until they became a part of my life." One day, a notice came to town. A competitive scholarship was announced for students who were both physically and mentally fit. The challenge included both a run and a written exam. Many students got nervous. They thought they would cram and memorize everything at the last minute. But Jason was calm. His daily habits had prepared him. On the day of the fitness test, the sun hadn't even risen yet. Jason stood in line with a dozen other students who were all very anxious. As soon as the whistle blew, some started sprinting very fast, but they quickly got tired. Some stumbled and gave up. Jason kept his normal pace, saved his energy, and trusted the discipline of the last few months. He finished the run much stronger than the others. When motivation versus discipline was tested, his consistency made him win. Then came the written exam. While others were panicking and trying to memorize everything at once, Jason sat calmly, revising what he studied every day. Studying 1 hour daily had built such a strong foundation that last-minute rushing could never achieve. A few weeks later, the results came out. It turned out Jason didn't just pass. He had secured a spot on the top students list. With tears of joy, he ran to Uncle Daniel and said, "Uncle, I did it. I never thought I could." "Your words were true." Uncle Daniel smiled and said, "Remember, Jason, motivation gets you started, but habit keeps you going when motivation runs out. Small, consistent daily actions create the path to success." From that day on, Jason became an example for the whole town. He started explaining to his friends and younger kids that big changes in life don't come from sudden big leaps, but from small, consistent actions. Waking up 15 minutes earlier, reading a few pages, walking for 10 minutes, or writing down a goal day after day. These small acts bring extraordinary change over time. Years passed. Jason grew up to be a responsible and respected professional. He achieved even more than he had dreamed. But he never forgot Uncle Daniel's lesson. Big results don't come from sudden inspiration or just talent alone. They come as a result of daily habits, patience, and consistent effort. So remember this story. Your future is being written by the small steps you take every single day. You don't have to change your life overnight. Start small. Start now. Walk for 10 minutes, read 5 pages, do 10 push-ups, or wake up 15 minutes earlier. These are the seeds of success. If you take care of them daily, they will turn into habits, and you will learn how to change your life in ways you never imagined. You don't have to be extraordinary to be successful. You just have to do your work every day, no matter how small it is. Motivation might light the fire, but habits keep that fire burning for a lifetime.